It's been a very busy day. I'm sure you're aware of such days where everything seems to pile on top of you and your work never seems to be done. Well, my day is no different than yours. And here we are. Doesn't seem like we have much light. And we're going to have a little bit of an issue with this, but we'll see. Maybe a little more light would help the situation. That could be possibly a little bit better, but we see. Ah, yes. Oh, it is a hard day. Here in purgatory. Oh, that must be annoying. That's better. Oh, killing demons is not an easy task. You have to have many weapons to kill demons. Bows and arrows, dipped in holy water. Swords at your side, always ready for battle. So, it seems I am alone in this battle, but it isn't that way. We shall see. We will bide our time like we always have. And we will see. The sword is only as good as the hand that wields it, and the hand that wields it is only as good as the mind that wields the hand. So in the end, it is your mind that must be the sharpest weapon. No one wishes to see the truth, but this is the way it has always been. Well, welcome. Hello. I see one person has decided to show up in at least one is oh, and they've gone again. Ah well, this is what happens in the world. In, out, all about. This is not the type of channel that you're expecting. Nor will it ever be again. This is a channel to fight YouTube, and the mask will stay on until YouTube frees this platform for content creators like myself. The truth. This is the way it will be done, regardless of what anyone thinks I am. Crazy? No. Quite sane. We shall sit and wait. We shall wait. We can wait a long time. Wait your human race out, that's one thing for sure. But One day, you may grow up and learn. You may learn to listen. As you can hear, one of my cats seems to be meowing. They do at this time of night. Hello, someone has popped into the chat. I hope I don't frighten you. Hello, welcome. Hello. I find it hard to pronounce some names. PPIs. Hello. Yes, I'm sitting here right now, coming in from my, hard work, hard that I've been doing, fighting demons, slaying them. This is going to be a bit of an issue, I think. Well, I hope not. So, it is just the two of us. Well, may we begin? I do have a special thing to do today. Very good. It was Jaguar that made me think of this. And it's about time we started to get back to the true things, the real things. And what more real than having the Lord's Prayer to start alive? I think that sounds quite interesting. We will see how we go. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Hail Mary, full of grace. Amen. I apologize for the sound. I will get it right eventually. It is what you do. But that is the way. You see, the strongest and most hurtful ones to the devil and to Satan are the prayers that are made to the mother. That is why in that book you find very little of women being praised in it. In fact, there is none, really. And it's wrong. So that is the true way of saying the Lord's Prayer. Because when they speak of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, it is not the Holy Spirit that they speak of. It is the Mother. For only with the Father, the Mother, can they produce a Son. This is just the way. It has been written that way because of Constantine, over 600 years, nearly 700 years ago in the Roman Empire, in Constantine, which is now modern day Istanbul, or Constantinople, what it used to be called. He decreed it to be the same as Christmas. That is not the day that Jesus was born, it is the day that he chose. But it is enshrined into us now. I, as a child, believed this. I know better now. But it is the way. We are moving on. It will be a short live. I don't have much content planned for tonight. I've been a little busy. Well, we've had the Lord's Prayer. That's the biggie. I guess most of my content for tonight is already done. But this not. I will say where respect is due. Gordon. I see Gordon has put up my last live. I don't know her intentions quite yet. I haven't going to investigate. But I hope they are good, because they seem intentionally nice. But we see. We see. So thank you if it is I could do with the promotion. That's for sure. Well, what more do I have? A famous saying, I say. They say, seize the day. And we've often heard that Robin Williams say that in that movie. I won't say it because it's copyright, and I'm not going to be bothered with saying all that nonsense. So I just avoid saying it at all. You can use your imagination from where it come from. But to seize the day, hmm, let's look into this. To do things one wants to do when there is the chance instead, hmm, or pluck the day. But the word seize, it also means to take hold, and suddenly by force. That is hard to do. The day is all around you. It is very hard to take force of this whole day. It is a large day. You can take control of what is around you directly, but to seize the whole day, only God has that power. So there's a little bit of falseness in that seize the day, because you teach the people that they can reach to the stars when we are not even out on the spaceship. And now my nephew has come home at the right time. Of course. Come in, nephew. I'm sure you can unlock the door. Hello, Joshua. Yes, he has the name Joshua. Named from my brother Christopher. Yes, he has the name Christopher. He was born on the 31st of March, the real true time of the Jesus when he was put on the cross, and the true time of Easter, which we do not celebrate no more. So he was named after that Christ. So he's named Christopher, and he was christened that. And he gave his firstborn son the name Joshua. Just a coincidence, I guess. But I am the Archangel Michael, so who knows? But we are not Jewish. That is one thing I'm certain of. Then again, my mother, she comes from Cyprus in the Mediterranean Sea. That is a crossroads of many wars of heaven. The war against Islam and Christianity is ripe on her island. The island has been split from it. It is one of the forefronts of Christianity and the Islamic war, separated by a border of a land that is just mummified for almost 40 years. This was done by the UN. They allowed them to do this, to come in and conquer the Cyprus, take off. Because Cyprus, the king of Greece, and Cyprus being Greek as well, he favored the Russians, and they didn't want nuclear weapons behind the NATO line, and that's what that war was all about. So they robbed the religious war, and they made it their own, and now we have that country the way it is. But slowly and surely they are joining together to do certain things, because there's certain areas that are beautiful, that haven't been opened for many, many years. Terrible. We know nothing of war. My mom comes from a country of war, escaped it to come here. But that is just the way. All over the world, us in the westernized countries, we don't see what happens. We only hear on the news what they tell us. But most of it is just lies and twisted to give a vision of something that is not what it is happening at all. But we get that. Horace, he said about seas today, well, his version in the Carpe Diem was put very little trust in tomorrow. Well, that's the good. You don't know. You don't know whether you're going to wake up tomorrow or not. You don't know what tomorrow brings. Only God, only God shall know. And He will be the one to bless you through the next day. If you make that day at all, you have to get through the night first. The night's pretty scary for some people. They don't like the dark. They see me sitting here in the dark. Ooh, something wrong. But it's not. This is for YouTube. This is all about the algorithms and beating the algorithms. There are many ways algorithms. Many, many ways. Puppetry for one. Anime. Masks. They all confuse the algorithm. Certain names, they stop. Certain names, they allow it to go through. You play the algorithms like Zeus inside his mountain of trolls. You will find a way through quite easily. But that is the way YouTube wishes to play the game. So we are here playing the game with YouTube. And the mask must stay on, regardless of those that know me better. They know that I am not really like this. I have other dreams. I'm a hard-working person. I'm a father. But I'm also Archangel Michael. I have missions, some of them on hold, for reasons, and promises. Yes, keeping it real. Well, I'm trying to keep it as real as I can. It is very hard not to keep it real when you fight demons all the time with real weapons, and you know, I might seem violent, but I'm not really. I'm quite a gentleman. I'm quite a nice person, but I've had a violent life, and it makes me angry how YouTube has its own laws, does not follow them, allows good people not to progress, and allows the bad ones to move forward. The idea is to try and build this platform strong enough so it has a voice, so I will be able to look into lawyers, look into seeing what can be done about YouTube. And no matter who owns YouTube, they will have to abide by their laws so they will not have a platform at all. It's unfair that people should make so much money when the message that is coming from the good content creators is far better for the people, for the world. So YouTube is the main culprit. I mean, There was all this hoo-ha and banter last year about this Mr. Beast, the one my children used to watch, which I banned. It means, well, I could tell a predator straight away. I told them that long before that happened. I said I don't like it. Didn't want them to be. But anyways, well, that stuff is a big top content creator on YouTube. Isn't that funny? He's top content creator of Blue City Troll Mountain. Hmm, what's next? Power perhaps? Well, I do have Frodo sword. We could sing it together. But it's not blowing yet, so obviously there's no snows around. If they are, I will. Why is the old down and dragging it? That is true. It's everywhere. The eyes is also. Hey, there's lots of things. Like you are no good. It is very related and sure things just went out. We'll be okay. As long as we stick through it, and we need to. There's no time to be afraid. What is the reason for that? For a little bit of evil money, and how that Magi carries on is unbelievable. She just will not quit. Jag was on live just a minute ago, and straight away, every time I tried to go on Jag was live, they put Magi's up first. Magi's watching like a hawk, even though she's a vulture, waiting for her next meal, I guess. Crazy. The woman started off her entire platform just talking about Jaguar and how right Jaguar was and how everyone was against her. Her platform wouldn't have been anything at all without that. And then when she has the chance to meet Jaguar in person, well, couldn't handle the heat of the fire, I guess. The battle of freedom is very hard and very hot. Maybe Jaguar was a little harsh, but I doubt it. I think she might have been playing her all along. Just the way that they come out with them talking about this Atwood behind their back and saying that he was the one that approached them. So that's interesting. A lot of them have been saying that, oh, he's the one that approached us. Maybe he's the one that said, put my name up. She won't do anything about it. Well, we see. We see. See, the one thing with evil, it doesn't matter how much it surrounds itself with crazy people that are very powerful, money and drugs, guns and weapons and evil. Reach out far and get to you, stop you any time they wish. Are we wishing the world live a world of this, live in a world of hate, a world of where the evil criminals have to say? That's hell. That's exactly the same color that we're sitting here now. It means everyone will burn before you even go to hell, and then you'll burn even hotter and even more. How terrible. We live in the terrible times, people. But there's a lot of good. We can find a lot of good. They haven't taken it all. There's a lot of places which are good. But YouTube, at the moment, is a platform that needs to be sorted out. So I thank you for coming here. I thank you. Premna, please, I think. Yes. And Melissa, I thank you very much for being here and being with me. This will only be a short life. I don't have much planned. Like I said, the Lord's Prayer, talk about seize the day, a few things that are going on that shouldn't be, and mainly talk to YouTube and tell it off, I guess. And if they're listening, well, maybe it might get through, maybe not. But the more people I get onto my channel, and the more people that watch, the more time the message will get out. As simple as it is. YouTube, change your ways. You're evil. You have all these evil platforms. You're doing the wrong thing. And then, like I said, when I have enough, I will be able to check all these laws, check all these things, and find the fine print where we can have them. Because surely there must be something in that contract for them to even exist to police such bullying. I thought we had laws in most countries about this. Why does not YouTube follow this? It is bound to the laws of each country, as well as bound to its own laws. Regardless, it is not a free entity. And YouTube, whether you think so or not, whether you abuse someone from another country, do not think you cannot be reached by the law. They can get you through YouTube. YouTube has laws and statutes with each country. So if you try to abuse someone, they can appeal to that country to have you charged. So do not think that you are immune, no matter whether you're across the border in Canada or over in America or in Australia where I am. YouTube has policies it can follow. It has policies that are hooked into every government around the world or would not be allowed to function in that country. This is the truth. YouTube must be held accountable. They know these laws exist. They know this is true. So when you hear the black owl saying, you can't get me, you can't get, they can get her anytime they wish through YouTube. And YouTube's power that it has connection with Canada. Otherwise Canada will say, well, then YouTube can no longer exist here. That is the deal when you have a network that is worldwide. If you want to televise in someone's country and be able to be in someone's country and open in someone's country, then you must follow that country's laws. You must sign certain statutes and declarations with that country if they even exist in that country at all. Meaning that that person on that country is also subject to the laws of another country, but through YouTube. And it will be their country that applies the law against them. So, this is the truth. You cannot escape. These people that think they're free and think they can just not be touched because they're going to go, don't come all this way, oh, what they're going to do, go to, no. YouTube will come for you. YouTube will ring your government. They will say, this person is not doing the right thing. And then they will come knock on your door, Maggie, and you will be gone. So never think that they cannot reach you. How silly. But YouTube does not act in this. YouTube allows trolled activity. YouTube doesn't follow its laws. So what deals has it got underneath the table with these governments to allow YouTube to function with this trolled activity? Because the governments, each country has a law. Our country has a special law that says no trolling online. They're supposed to be able to police this, but they do nothing. They allow YouTube to run free. There are laws all over the world that bind YouTube to operate correctly, but it does not follow them. Soon I will present you the actual laws and the receipts. It is just that simple. It just takes time to compile it properly. They hide it. The little clauses and little acts hidden away. 500 pages in. Some of the shit is unbelievable. But it does exist. And as soon as I find the information, I will present it to the people And then more content creators, more powerful than me, hopefully, if they see my message, will be able to do something about it. And if enough of us do this thing about it, YouTube will have to follow its laws, or will just shut its platform down completely. And like I said, I'll find out the owners where they go. They open up another one, and I will take that one down too. Until they learn they cannot spread their evil. Evil cannot be on the media. Evil cannot be on YouTube. YouTube is a good place. I met good people here. Some very good people. And some very bad ones. But the good people I have met have got me through a hard time. So it must be good. And that is why it's worth fighting for. It generates a lot of money for a lot of people that have nothing to do with this at all. Just simple content creators. Like some of the ones that my daughter watches. One in Brazil. All she does is just jump around and make a silly face. And she makes a lot of money from it. Just simple, harmless content fun. And the news that's reported is not really the news at all when you hear the Akbar channel or anything like that. It's just basic ad for something. To me, it really looks like promotion for the thing that he's talking about, even though you might portray it as something bad. I don't know. I don't like that channel. I've never liked it. The moment I got told to go and watch that channel, I watched it once, seen what was going on, and I never been back. Very evil. That is all I could say. So I was a bit skeptical at what Jack kept the friends. But she promoted Atwood, so at the time I defended him. That was the way of a moderator, as Auntie Lee has taught me. Oh, I'm not Lucifer. I ain't amen to Satan either. You know, ask Satan to get faster. Yes, we could be a troll in and out. But it doesn't matter if you wish to troll. Satan has no power here. And you could troll as much as you want. But that just means that you're a dominion of him. It means you're a troll. And to be a troll of Satan is nothing to be proud of. You might look a certain way on the outside, but inside you're deformed and evil and dark and filthy and wrong and twisted beyond your wildest imaginings. And to pit sides with him is the only pit sides of putting yourself in a fire. I mean, really, if you want to be right with Satan, go out, get some kerosene, pour that on yourself, light yourself up. That won't even be as close as the hot fire he's got ready for you. It would give you a sample of just what it would be like to stand near the ring of it before he shoves you in. Because that's where you're headed. You don't help him doing anything. You don't go forward doing anything. What you're doing is helping evil men. You're not helping Satan. You've got to get that right. Man's hand is in this game as well, and he knows that he can also move pieces around, collect money for himself. That has nothing to do with Satan at all. Satan has three key policies, and if he's not doing that, if that's not doing that, then you're not doing Satan's work. You're doing your own filthy work. It means you will burn even hotter. And that is not my problem. That is yours. It is simple as that. And you cannot escape your fate, whether you like to think so in the flesh world or not, whether you believe in God or Satan or not. You obviously believe in Satan. It is quicker to be with him, you say. Yes, it is, but it's also quicker death, and quicker that your life will be forever burning and forever eternity. That is a long, long time. It never ends, your burning. It never ends, your suffering. It never stops. And you'll be squealing in the first second. In the first second, you'll be screaming with the other thousands and millions of souls that are already down there screaming, begging to go out, begging to go home, begging for forgiveness, begging for God. But you will not hear God down there. You will burn. You will burn so hot that it will feel like you're not even in the center of the sun. It'll feel like that you are one burning. You got no idea of what a soul can do when it burns. It is terrible. His whole idea is to disintegrate your soul. So eventually it does. After an eternity, which is a very, very long time, forever, it never ceases. The pain that you will suffer. If you side with the devil, if you side with Satan, if you side with the fallen son, Lucifer, which is three in the same, you will suffer. And it will not be us that makes you do this. It'll be the devil that you choose to walk with, the Satan that you choose to keep in your heart, and the Lucifer that took your mind and soul and threw it in the fire as if it was trash. Because that is all you are to him in the end. You may get what you get a little bit on earth, but you will not get nothing in the afterlife. And you will beg that you chose different on earth. For everyone's choice on this planet is where you go next. We all have a choice. That is true. We was made in God's image. We all have a choice. Some choose the wrong choices. I'm glad I choose the right ones. For I am Archangel Michael. And like I have said, if all of you, humanity, and all of the angels, and all of the heavens, and all the creatures, and everything that there ever was to be, to turn against God, who could God rely on? He could rely on me. That's who God can rely on. That is what you call faith. When you bring God into your mind, which is your temple, the temple is your mind, is your head. Listen to the scriptures. When you bring him into your mind, your temple is your mind, your head. You can fill your vessel with God. The vessels in your heart are vessels and can be filled with glory of God. So to fill your heart with God, your vessel, to fill your mind with God, and open it, your temple, you will find God. You can look far about the universe, as far as you can possibly want to look. You can ask all the questions. Where is God? Why can I not find him? Where is the light? We search everywhere around us for the light, except for where he's found, within. When people understand that when God is found inside you, in your heart, in your vessel, and in your temple, in your mind, then you will understand the God that you search for is with you. And when you open yourself to him, he will be there. It might not be the miracles that you expect, but if you understand and learn the wisdom and really feel your vessel and open your temple, you will understand everything that I'm saying is true. But they wish to go the lazy way with Satan. Dealing with Satan is a dealing with your own death. I will deal with him, and I'll put him to death. I'm not frightened of no Satan, although there are some scary devils to face, and there's all different types of demons and creatures that can be conjured up. Perhaps when I face him, he might take the form of my older brother, but the moment he does that, he knows he'll be in trouble, as I know my older brother is long gone, and if he tries to trick me with that, I'll kill him on the spot. It's that simple. Hard to believe, but it is true. It will not happen tomorrow. No, it may not happen next week. It may not happen for years, but it will happen eventually. Eventually. Maybe they're waiting, like I said, for the other guy. Hmm. We see. We see. Well, I think I got the wrong piece of paper. I did have my content list on it, but it seems like that's the empty one. So, well, what do we have? We don't have much. I was going to show you my native determination, but another time when it's more light and the mask must stay on for YouTube to deal with the algorithm. See, we're having the mask on. They don't know whether I'm real or whether I am just chucking on an act, and this confuses the algorithms. But if your face is showing, clearly you must be real. Clearly you're not chucking on an act, and that's how the algorithm will take you. It's just like when Jaguar had Jacqueline, the puppet, or Jacquelina, the little puppet, and the bag puppet that Odo had. They didn't realize that that was a golden nugget. They could have run through those two, and that algorithm would have went wild on them. And they wouldn't have been shunned as they are when they show their face. Strange that it has a very simple algorithm pattern, can be broken like a child if you're smart enough. If you're smart enough. It takes a little bit of time. Sometimes they're a bit tricky. I try to get around it. It's not just content creators have to have stacks of people. Getting around algorithms is a big thing. Excuse me. And to get around algorithms, all you have to do is keep inserting that name. Keep inserting that name. Keep that name flowing. Understand? Puppetry and shows. That is why a lot of content creators, like myself, use the AI now. But a lot of them use the pictures of AI of people. That way that they cannot be done for using someone's image. Because it's AI. It's a flaw in the algorithm. Yet I noticed all these bigger content creators, they do it. So I started doing it. And I thought to myself, well, why don't you bring that off of the AI into reality and put on a mask and take the form of your real self as the Archangel Michael? It seems to be working, although the people watching is not very many. And I'm glad you're here watching. But it is just the way it is. The devil is not a lie. The devil, believe it or not, cannot even tell a lie. I split his tongue to make sure he couldn't do that. There was also another reason his tongue got cut instead of his throat. It was when he ascended up to talk to God. He is the only one of us that has ever talked to God directly. It was so he couldn't talk back to him. That is all. Because that's what he was doing. He was talking back to God, talking against God, talking against God's way and God's creation. and how God wanted to run things, and the family, and the earth, and the people, and how He had decided to let you have your own decisions and take care of your own fate with your own hand. He knew eventually he would end up making a deal that he wouldn't destroy the earth and put up the rainbow, and he would definitely leave us to do his work for him. But he works through us. If we want to win this game, it is up to the human race to play God's hand, and that is simple. Simple as that. If you're waiting for him to come down, he will just burn the earth. He's too powerful. Jesus will be resurrected when we resurrect in us, and then the Jesus will come. It is said that it has to be Jesus' name must be known by at least everyone around the planet must have heard the name. There are still places where they do not allow you to go in, where there are tribes that have never heard of Jesus. I wonder why that is. Are they frightened? But the Satan is frightened. But the government's frightened. The Indian government holds a whole island of people that have never heard of Jesus. No one knows what's on that island. So you see, when Jesus is heard in the temple of everyone, and he is in the hearts of enough of us, Jesus will come. Time. But it will be long after I've gone. So you're waiting for him to come along down the road in a few minutes. It's not going to happen. Maybe. I don't know what God's got planned for him. I know what he has planned for me, and that's about it. Each one has a piece to their own. We know a little part. I know a little more than the rest. I know God. A little more rest than the rest, just so I can get my way through. But that is all. All the pieces that are said, we know our heart. And that's it. God's a very tricky fellow. He doesn't tell everyone what's going on. He's not going to let everyone into his mind. Why would he do that? If he did that, people could stab him in the back. And no matter whether they had me to defend him, they could find a way around me and get to him. I am not the only defender of God. No, there is many faithful amongst you, but there are some that aren't. The devil, yes, he is a liar. Definitely a liar. But he is cunning. And that doesn't mean he cannot twist and manufacture a lie out of truth. He is very cunning, you know. He is great at manipulating things around it. Like I said, there's clauses in everything that you do. There's even clauses in the punishment that he faces. And he finds ways around them all the time. And that's how he infects the human race with his evil. And like I said, now God has tied his hands long, long ago with Noah. It's been up to man. We've been fighting a struggle since the days of that Noah. The human race has been playing God's hand. Every now and again, he sends someone like me down to encourage you to try. Do a side mission, which is the main mission. This is the side mission. We have other missions that are so secret that you wouldn't even possibly imagine. But that is just the way it is. I don't know where the other angels is. I do know where one is. But she's conflicted. And she just don't know. She's not ready. I think she is frightened. And I would be too. If I was her. But I'm not. But to get that. You get that? You love your Heavenly Father. Yes, the Heavenly Father is good. He can be good to everybody. You just have to let Him in to your heart and into your mind. And when you find peace there and understand the true God, what God is about, you understand what I'm saying. We must help ourselves. It is the only way. Through the niceness of someone else, that God's working through them, we may get help as well. There are people out there. You just have to try. Everyone seems to be struggling. Everyone seems to be down. But maybe this YouTube makes us feel down, makes us feel troubled. I'm troubled by many things. And yes, some of them come from this YouTube. The trouble that they tease and carry on over a woman by telling the truth, tainting her ward, is ridiculous. The backstabbing and the lies and the way that YouTube just allows it to progress, it is wrong. So, like I said, YouTube is my main enemy, even though it seems funny that I am on YouTube to fight them, but this is the only way. And I found a way around the algorithm whether people like it or not. As long as I wear the mask and keep myself civil and don't swear too much, there's nothing YouTube can do about it. Eventually the message will get out. Even if it's just to watch this crazy person in a mask. I don't really care what you think I am. I know what I am. God knows what I am. And if it's just me defending God in the end, well, then so be it. I hope not. I hope the faith in the people and humanity moves the pieces on the board correctly. These trials has gone quiet until these trials come up. They've got no content. So there's hunting and searching, bantering. The black vulture, she just keeps on eating the same carcass. It's already been devoured. There's nothing left. Even the marrow's gone. But it still keeps trying to peck the ground. Ridiculous. The only reason that woman exists at all is because of her. And that's funny. I find that quite hilarious. No, good content creators have always found it hard. They've always been trolled very badly, especially when you have a controversial issue. You know? And I see these women, because they're women, they get attacked by these so-called men. Well, where I come from, you're not a man if you attack a woman, whether it be online or in the physical. Not directly on the channel and go there like that. You can say something about someone on your own channel. That's your own prerogative, your own say. But you don't go into someone's chat and throw them deliberately to be an asshole for nothing more than what? To get a kick out of your day? Well, I'll get a kick out of my day when I kick his hole into the hole and you burn. That'll be my kick. I often get a kick out of that. Like I said, I don't like violence, but I've had a violent life. That's all I know. I try to avoid violence as best I can by talking, by being smart and intelligent, and trying to work things out. But often or not, you don't get the time for. You've got to start swinging, otherwise they're going to stab you with that ice pick. And you can't afford to be bantering on how you shouldn't be doing that when they're enraged on drugs. or something worse. Hmm. Maybe if I get a better phone, I'll take you on alive, where you may see a few things. I may show you a few things that are strange. You may even see some ghosts, some strange places around this Perth city. Very strange. Some very old places too. Like the tunnel under the roundhouse in Fremantle, one of the very first buildings, which was a prison. They had a tunnel underneath it to bring in the stores, also the whales, to bring them air, drag them up the beach so they can cut them down and render them out for the oil. Sometimes when you go through there, you take photos, you'll be quite surprised. They even film. You'll be quite surprised what's walking around behind you and next to you, but you don't see it when you're there. People in their old-fashioned clothes. It's very funny, very scary sometimes too, but true. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I see how far I can push you as people to show you the true meaning of God and that it exists and these true things that you talk about, demons and that. But I may not. They could jump through the screen, and that would be irresponsible of me. So I may take you to a few places, but I won't bring them demons out for you to see. No, I think that would be best safe I just deal with them without the camera. I start doing that, like you see all these people on content creators chasing these demons with these odd devices and that. They don't know how much trouble they can be in if there's really something there. That could be a tormented soul that's just wanting to hurt somebody. It could be a pathway to a worse realm. There are other realms other than hell, you know. Other places you can go that are just as dark as hell and have just as brilliant creatures. Like I said, it's on many levels, beyond the comprehension. Beyond the comprehension of most. It is hard. Very hard to deal with. But it's just the way it is. To try and explain the whole thing would blow your mind completely. You wouldn't understand it. You would try to ask too many questions. You try to ask why. But there is no why. It's like God says, I am because I am. Some things are because they are. You might not believe me, but it may sound terrible. It may sound straight up, or may sound completely wrong to what you've been told. But unfortunately, it is not. Now my cat is digging up the carpet, and I'm going to have to prod it. Cat, wait, stop it. Oh, wait. Right. He digs up the carpet and he pulls it up. And I don't want him to do that. Mr. Pepsicle. Yes, I have two cats. My mom doesn't like them. But one was my late partner's, so I can't get rid of him, and he's a good mouser. The other one's the kids' one, sort of like a comfort cat for their loss. Yes, that is why I'm on a mission for God. I heard a saying once. I don't believe it's true because I don't think God is like that. In fact, I'm sure He's not. They say sometimes God removes people out of your way. so that you continue on with the great task that he has before you? I doubt it, because Kelly had never hurt anyone, and God had no reason to take her. She was in nobody's way. And it's not really the devil that creates the bad things inside us, like the cancers and the diseases. Sometimes it can be, if you choose to side with him, you choose to follow him and make the easy money when you get sick. And that's him, that's his work on you. But other things exist out there that are just there because they're for a reason. There has to be a reason behind everything. People think it's a calamity only when lives, human lives, are involved. But if you had a tsunami, you had to show that there was no life there at all. It would be just like, oh, there was a tsunami there. That's nothing. You think that one. Yes, human life is precious, and that's the way we think of it. But we make a song and dance sometimes, and it only becomes precious when lives are involved. You think about that. Unless human life is involved, they don't care about it at all nowadays. All these green pieces, all these save the whales, all these ocean free, dolphin free stuff, they're all fronts, all owned by the company. But actually, the oceans paid to put their symbol on their product. That's what they do now. Their job is promotions. Their job's not saving any whales. Chuck a boat out there every now and again. They make enough money, yet they still try to ask money for that boat to run that every time they go and try to stop the whales. They're not interested. They're only interested in one thing, like every other corporation now: money. Not interested in saving life, preserving it. You watch as all the laws soon change when it comes to dealing with animals and life and the creatures in the ocean. We're getting mighty close to the end of that 50 years deal that they had with Antarctica. People think that wasn't long ago. Yeah, well, give it another 15 years, people, and that'll be a new continent that they're having a war on. Right at the end of Aquarius, I believe. Isn't that strange? And some say they found Enoch and some of those angels down there. Pope asked the Russian Orthodox Church leader, said, could you talk to Putin? Bring the Ark of the Covenant down. And he said, well, first I must go and check that South Pole out by myself. So he went down there and checked the South Pole out. The next day, after he talked to the Pope, actually, danced around on the beach, a few little photos, a few years back now. It wasn't long, 2 months at the most. And the Russian aircraft carrier that rocks up there, which I think, if you translate the Russian name that it has, it means Mount Olympus. So the Mount Olympus aircraft carrier from Russia goes down to Antarctica for some reason. Why? Because it was holding the Ark of the Covenant. And they placed it down there, hoping that that's what's going to stop coming from that place. You all watched it on TV. You just did not read the messages. That is what happened. That is clearly what happened. A lot is in play. More than you must know. More than we should be telling you. I will tell you what I can. What I'm able to tell you. What I feel I should tell you. but it depends. Some of it seems like I do not finish what I say, but as I have now, I have finished one of the things I said in the last live just then, and that's how I will work. I will leave you in a mystery to try and ponder and search for yourself. You'll find what I say is no fault in it. You'll find what I say is all true. This is the thing. You just have to look for the research yourself. Look out there and understand what I'm trying to say. And then you'll look back into yourself, look in the mirror, and you'll come and see me and think, shit, he's been talking the truth all the time. Perhaps he is the Archangel Michael. Well, I don't ask you to have faith in me, just in my word. But it is the word of God. And you should have faith in God and Jesus. But also have faith in me that I will guide you to the right way. I am no preacher. I am no prophet. I just come to tell you how it is. And that is it. That is it. If you do not like it, that is not my fault. I'll be here for a time until my mission is finished here, and then I'll go on. And if you ask questions, I may not be here for to ask those questions. I have other tasks to do. Terrible tasks. Terrible decisions I have to make. And as a man, I'm bound to the 10 Commandments. See, as an angel, I could slay anyone and kill them outright, send them straight to hell. Within the blink of an eye, I used to enjoy it. The ones that were very wicked. But as a man, I'm bound to the 10 Commandments, and thou shalt not kill. So it is harder for me to find a way around things. Because that means that even the angels and the demons that I face, the fallen, they take shape of a human and in a human body. How am I to defeat them? I'm not supposed to kill them. And they will want to kill me no matter what, because they don't care about the 10 Commandments. They don't care about God's word. They care about the desecration of life. The quick, easy way to make quick, easy money, to end your life quick and easy. Life in the fast lane, in the concrete jungle. Well, this concrete jungle we call YouTube. It might not seem like that in people's minds, but it is in mine. Each one perceives time differently. We all see things our own way. We will all perceive God our own way, and we'll all believe the message that God gives us in our own way. But is this God, or is it not God that is speaking to you? That is the thing. You know when God speaks to you. You know, because you get up and start to do something good for yourself, something better for humanity, something better for your neighbor, for your children, or even just start to smile and feel better and realize that the days are not lonely, that the time is not hard. There are times when you cannot even pray to God, when you're starving on the street and you have to scab out of a bin to eat. A real person in real destitution, real bad place. I mean, we have that on the streets here. You have that on the streets of most places. The places I feel bad about is those places where you see those little children on those rubbish tips, scattering around for whatever morsels they can find. How can humanity be so evil to allow little children the only way they can find sustenance is on a rubbish tip? This is why it's hard every day I wake up. I see things like this. I remember things like this. It's only because I have children of my own, and because of a promise I made to a fellow angel, the most beautiful angel in all of heaven, that I wouldn't turn evil. But that is all I see around me. It is terrible. A terrible place this earth has become. And I don't know whether I want to save it sometimes. I want to fuck it up. I'm sorry for the language, but that's just the way I feel. And not the good people. I'll hunt down the bad ones, but that makes me no different than them. And then I remember I'm bound to this being a man, which is extremely hard as an angel. Extremely hard to be in this body of a man, this poor man. He probably doesn't even know I'm inside him. But you get that. That's a different story. Too complex for you at the moment. Very complex. The dealing with evil. Evil is terrible as you can possibly even dream it could be. No Hollywood movies got it correct. They're so very tough and soft compared to what it's really like. My goodness. Some of them almost got it close, but not many. There's just go for the people to watch more bullshit, more to rot the brain. Easier to turn into a troll when your brain's rotted. I cannot believe that I had someone in here saying it was better to do a deal with the devil and make money quick and easy. Just goes to show you that people will tempt their fate. Come into the Archangel Michael's chat and say such a thing. You have no idea what I can do. But if I am not to kill, then maybe I can find a way where I don't hurt. We see. We see. I have to try and convince people with my voice and my mind, I guess, through YouTube with the mask, to beat it with the algorithms. Yes, yes. I am sorry, the content will get better. At the moment, I'm just venting a little bit in what I've been through, getting myself on my feet, letting people and knowing me, trying to establish who I am, and trying to explain myself more to you and the world how I see it. As I see it, when I look at it, it is very dark like this room, very dark like I am now. I often quote to say if I had a soul, it's in the most darkest place that you can possibly ever think of, away from all the light. My soul swims in the darkness. I don't know why, but I just feel that way sometimes. It's very hard to fight alone, to know God's mission, to try and complete things that would make any other man run away. I mean, really, I don't really want to face that dragon, but I know I will. I have to face two of them. That's just one of the two dragons I have to face. He's the better one. The bad one, well, we know who he is. And if I face him, that will be my challenge. I'll have to get him to reveal himself in front of the world so you can see him for his true shape. I wonder if he'll fall for it. I doubt it. That's why he doesn't come and meet me. Meet me out in the desert where I want to meet him, where I should be meeting him. Get this game over for you guys. But I don't know. Maybe the Jesus is not enough inside our hearts and minds to be resurrected yet. And I will keep emphasizing this. It is not the church that will help you, or any synagogues, or any preacher, or any priest. It is you that will help you. When you have the Jesus inside your vessel, which is your heart, when you open up your temple, which is your mind, and allow him in there, he can be resurrected within us, and then the real Jesus can come. The word must be spread to everyone around the world. They must have at least heard the name Jesus, whether they believe him or not, for it truly to be coming, for there truly to be a second coming. It is like the Pharaohs. The Pharaohs said one day we will walk amongst the living. Well, they do when they're on display. They might not be walking, but they are amongst the living. They never told no lies. They found the way. It just might not be the way that you think of in the Hollywood movies, the way they teach you. But they did find the way. It's called immortality. It's like that movie Troy with this Trojan duck fleet that we got out on YouTube. And how his mother said to Achilles, if you stay here, you'll be remembered by a few generations. But if you go to Troy, you'll be remembered for thousands of years. That's called immortalization. That's how someone becomes immortal. Like Jaguar Wright, people have tainted something which is written in stone as a freedom fighter given from the American government, whether it be Trump or not. It was still a prestigious award that was obviously set up to go long before Trump was there. That's what people must understand. Her name must have been on a list, even when Kamala Harris and Biden was in charge. This is not a list that is compiled because you want to compile a list. This is a list that comes a long time in the making. People must do great tasks to become classed a freedom fighter. You don't just get someone on side and say, good, I'll use her for a voice. I don't think so. That award is a long time coming, and people how they've tainted that award for her is terrible. You imagine that. Something that's supposed to immortalize you for all the histories. And people come along like trolls and chip it away out of the stone. People wonder why the lady's erratic. I would be too. I'd fucking chuck a glass at every cunt that come in the room. I'd be very annoyed. Especially on that day. Terrible. When do we get awarded and we get shunned for that award? When do we say a compliment like, hey, beautiful, and we get ridiculed as a sex offender? And yes, I will make the connection where it's like I have said before. How can we face evil unless we place evil? And we cannot place evil unless we make the connections. What's the point of the word at all if we are not allowed to say it? No, we must make the connections. Those connecting words must be connected, because whether this says that children are not allowed to watch it or not, I'm sure kids can get into computers and stuff like we know, and they watch all kinds of stuff that we don't know aware of, which is another trouble, because we don't know what our children are watching, even if we do police them. Kids are kids. They're devious. They're humans as well, you know. One good thing about humanity, we could lock someone in a jail, and they could work out how to get out of it. We're very ingenuitive. We can think things through. And that is what God has given us. That's how God works things out. You've got to work it out. You can't just automatically know. It's a trial and error sometimes. Just like everything, just like with humanity. It's just God can do it on a far faster scale. And He can do it in His mind by fast forwarding history and reversing the future. Now, I say, oh, that sounds backwards, but that's how He works. That's how He works. That's why this time travel that they have at this CERN reactor needs so much power. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to play God, looking for the God particle, the one that they know is only just a one tiny little particle that is just basically a synthetic part of God. It's not the real God. It's one that they're trying to create an image. An image of God in that CERN reactor is being created, not the God itself. They are not finding His particles. He is one and the whole, and He is everywhere and nowhere. So they're not finding His particles, but whatever they're finding is an imitation of Him. A synthetic God is about to come among you. A synthetic Savior will fall upon you, and you will think He's the real one. And I have warned you now. I will not warn you again about that. That is it. That is the only warning I will give. They will try to place someone as the next coming, and because you was all waiting for so long, you believe it instantaneously, because the one that comes will be able to perform miracles, raise those from the dead, do all the things that it says that He's not going to do. If you really read the book. So be careful. That's all I will say. You have hopes for Him to come. I know it'll be hard, very hard. And I'm only reaching really 2 people now. And whoever watches later. But this is true. You must be careful of this next one that comes. Treat it with a skeptical eye, because it would not be the Son of God. It will be a creation of man, or the devil in another form. Like I said, this is all up the hands of man. And man, there's evil men out there that think they want to be Satan. Like Diddy. He tried to play a demon. He got too high and, well, too many people talking about him as well. He didn't cover his tracks. And because he didn't cover his tracks, and there's too many tracks around, they left him alive. And he's now locked up. Where's the Epstein fella? Well, his tracks are a bit more covered, I guess. Or the tracks that will lead to bigger prizes than what Diddy had. See, they're glad. They're glad that it's all the ethnic or the black people that are being suffering, that are getting charged, that are bickering amongst each other. That's nothing more than they had planned. And I don't see no why they can't see this. But if that's the way they feel. If they do not see this, that they've had their head on the chopping block and they're just chopping each other's head off. The white man doesn't have to do anything. Or Satan, he knows what they're doing. The ones in charge know what they're doing. The factions that are in charge know what they're doing. Because all Diddy is just a faction. He didn't cover his tail. And he got caught. And has left all those around him exposed to be caught as well. But you've had people like Jagger Wright been talking about them for years. Years and years and years, the truth has been out there. The FBI did not just come down the road and say, oh, we're going to charge someone because we feel like it. They take at least 10 to 20 years sometimes before they even move on somebody. Some people they allow to get killed through drugs, such as that other actor or singer or whatever it was. You go naming names, YouTube can dust you with the algorithms. You all know. This is the way around the algorithm. People are looking for the information. People are looking for that. They want you to have that little disclaimer up all the time. They want that disclaimer. That's all a part of their evil algorithm to keep you locked in, to keep the truth locked out. I know it's hard for people to understand, but you don't know algorithms like I do. They're funny things. Can be used for many different things. You even have biological algorithms within plants and humans and life itself. You just have to know the pattern. It's all about patterns. That's what an algorithm is a pattern. And I've known patterns since I played Atari back in the 80s. No 20 cents video games down at the corner store. We used to go down there with $1, buy yourself an ice cream, a few chocolates, a drink, and enough to play a few video games. Clock the game, the bloke would come and turn the power off because he wouldn't make money because we'd only be using 20 cents and sit on the game for 2 hours until we finished it. These modern games are a little bit more free will, but they still have patterns. Everything has a pattern in life. There's patterns in nature, repeatable patterns through different creatures. You know, you have like the dinosaur, the Ichthyosaurus, is no different than the dolphin, and yet that was a dinosaur, and the dolphin is a mammal. And the dolphin basically is a mammal version of a shark, a similar type of body, just a different species. The people must understand when I talk about man, there's only 2% difference than the apes, like the chimpanzee or the gorilla. Well, that 2% difference in DNA is a vast, great thing, 2% difference DNA in a creature can mean a totally different form, a different creature entirely. Let's put it that to example. 98% of DNA is in 3 of these things. There's only 2% DNA that separates them. And that is a watermelon, a jellyfish, and a rain cloud. They're all 98% water. Only 2% DNA. And clearly there's 3 different things that are 3 different, completely different things. A rain cloud for one, a watermelon, and a jellyfish. And with that 98% water, that 2% DNA, those things are alive. Maybe not the rain cloud, but it carries life within inside the raindrops. So possibly the rain cloud is even alive too. And it lives only when it's ready to dispel the rain. And then it dies when it evaporates. Did anyone ever think of that? I don't think they have minds. But I know how they have short lives, sometimes long lives, very tormentful ones with lightning and thunder. The clouds. Then you have jellyfish. They can create stings and all types of things glowing lights and colors, all from that 2% DNA difference, with 98% water. And we all know watermelon tastes good. But what has man done to watermelon? And what you don't very much get unless you want to pay the cheap price. You find most of us all seedless. Well, it's not really a watermelon anymore if it's seedless, is it? What have they done to that? To make the seeds go away. God gave us food with seeds in it because it was good. It knows that once we'd eaten it, the seeds could be replanted. The seeds could be replanted, and we could regrow more food. Not all plants with seeds, of course, are edible, but we could find uses for them in chemicals and healing medicines, even the industries. Nature can provide a lot of things, and it does. A lot of the colouring that we have has come from crushed beetles. People don't realize that yet. Gelatin comes from rendered down animals. The skeletons of rendered down animals. Gelatin, your basic gelatin, they can get a tree derivative. They say it's all natural, but they get it all from a rendering plant. Eventually there'll be enough humans on the planet, they'll probably start rendering us down. They already do that anyways. They just don't tell you about it. Well, we've been on for an hour and a half, and I have 3 people here watching. Thank you. What I don't understand is we teach our children not to be bullies, and then adults become bullied. Yes, it's just a vicious circle that keeps going around, unfortunately. Around and around and around. And that's what has to be stopped. But to stop the bullies, like in the schoolyard, it's up to the teacher and the principal. Now, that is YouTube. YouTube is the principal here on this platform. So they should be the one putting the cane out and beating the bullies. Like I said, YouTube doesn't follow its own laws. And they have laws and statutes with each country, otherwise they wouldn't be able to function in those countries. And anyone thinks that they're away, they can banter someone else in another country, and they think that they cannot be sued and cannot be pursued. They are wrong, because YouTube will do it for them on their behalf. And they have deals with these countries, and they will use those countries' laws. So it will not be the American law directly that will infect them, if it's from America. But it will be the Canadian law that does the same. So it might be just a misdemeanor in America, but it might carry jail in Canada, because they have very strict laws and rules about what you say online. And if YouTube is made accountable, idiots like the Black Owl would not be so much an idiot, would they? They would have to behave. They would not have to get around the air of superiority about them, which, if they really look into it, they don't have. They know they've got the backing of the evil YouTube. The evil YouTube. Oh, the evil YouTube, eh? Well, and that's all it is. And that's all it is. YouTube needs to be made accountable. They need to follow their rules. You cannot bully someone and be like this online the way you are and think that you can escape from it, because YouTube will take you down. And if there's criminal things to be done, like suing for slander and that, you can sue them through YouTube. There's laws and statutes that exist through YouTube, which you can sue. And you can pursue through YouTube these people through these other countries, because it's done on YouTube, a multinational, international platform that has to have deals with each country to even operate. And then YouTube will find the applicable laws with that country and they will punish that person by those laws. So you cannot escape. If someone really wants to push the issue, they can chase your ass right down. Shut your channel and shut your mouth. Plain and simple. And what she has to realize, she's in the Commonwealth country. One of the 72 Commonwealth countries like me. Oh, we're susceptible to all the laws of YouTube. If YouTube actually used them correctly, she'd be fined quite a lot of money for her lies. And that's a fact. I like how she says the Jaguar is technically illiterate. Well, I doubt it. It was magic that come out of the closet. But like I said, as more time goes on, more time I realized that she was nothing more than a plant. And why people watch it in the first place. And I used to watch it, and I realized how stupid I was. And all the idiots that they have on their platform, making their hypothesis about Jagger right, about the rest of us. And don't worry, I even hear them talking about me, which is good. At least they're not talking about her. I can handle it. Doesn't faze me, none the least. I'll just make a video about them, how stupid they are. I find it quite fun. No, I don't watch her full on. I don't watch her full on. I just peek in every now and again, and I just look, and I have to go away because I can't spend more than 5 minutes watching their bullshit. Because you want to type something into the chat, but that just turns into more of a troll like them, and it gives them something to laugh at, and I ain't gonna give them the satisfaction. But when I pop in, it's usually at the right time. God says, hey, just go and check. Must be God. And I pop in, I usually catch these little tidbits. They're so very fucking ridiculous. So I expose them. And if they do watch my content, they'll know I've exposed them. I know Golden does. I know she's reluctant. But I know that one, she wants to repent for what she's done. She knows what she's done was wrong. She knows it could have been handled a far better way. I wonder. But we see. Everyone can be redeemed, even the devil. In fact, that is what God is hoping. But we see. Well, I want to have a drink, but I really don't want to take my mask off in front of everyone because I'm dealing with YouTube. And that's the best way, by keeping the mask on. They cannot identify me. They didn't even know if it's the real person that's here. Don't know if it's really Michael, the owner of the channel. But it is. I might be the owner of the channel, but it is Sarah and her wife Victoria which actually rule the channel. Hopefully one day I'll make that into a full-length movie with those two and all the adventures that we've had in a short time so far. We see. Oh, I don't watch Goldie. That's the one thing I don't watch her, but I've seen her on the chats. She's put my last live up on her channel. So I don't know whether that was a promotion or whether it was a dig. Because the way she's put it, I don't know quite how to take it. Because it almost seems like a promotion, but it could be a dig. We'll see. If there's any repercussions from it, then we'll know. If she's being honest and true and trying to repent, then maybe that's her way of doing it. At the end of the day, she should just ask for an apology. He will give one, and it is done. It's as simple as I'm sorry. I did not realize you would be offended. And that is it. Simple as that. But when we live in a world where you can't be nice, and let's face it, you have to be careful in how nice you are. You can't be too nice, or people think that you might be coming on to them. But to say, no, you're beautiful when you feel like somebody is, there's really no harm or threat. And when we start living in a world like this, we start living in a world where we can't be nice to each other. What type of world are we living in? No, but that's okay. I'm sure that problem will sort itself out. It was never as big as it should have been. It was never as big. It could be different if it was a physical thing, but it wasn't. And I hope it does sort out. I hope she does redeem herself because everyone has hope. By her saying that, it made me think that maybe she does have hope. Maybe she does have in her mind that she might be doing a little bit wrong. And then she puts up my video, so it's like a promotion. Well, one thing I find it hard, and I've been told by several women, especially one in my life right now. They told me, like, well, it's kind of a girl's secret, really. You know, that you ladies just really don't like to admit when you've done something wrong. And sometimes I wonder if that's it, because that's my experience. When they're wrong and they won't admit it to it. I find it very annoying. I can understand why people get annoyed sometimes, males. They get very angry, especially when they're right. Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's a thing with inside you ladies, but use more often that than anything else. Will not admit, will be easy to admit when you've done something wrong. That's not true with all ladies, of course. There's some very good ladies out there, very truthful. It's just there's some out there like that. They just don't like admitting when they're wrong. I don't know why, but maybe that's her way of admitting it. Because also was told by this lady I know currently, she's very smart. She's very smart indeed. It tells me a lot of things about the way ladies think, especially in the modern age with the way you are now. Quite crazy. I thought, I said, gee, why have you taken love and fucking homogenized it so badly? Put it on all these levels. And she was talking about red pills and blue pills and this matrix. I said, well, settle down. You know, I'm woman enough to admit when I'm wrong. Yeah. Like I said, some women are very strong, and that's the good women. They can admit, but then you've got some that just doesn't admit, and oh, I'm sorry, but often I find more of my experience that the women are the ones that are less likely to admit when they're wrong. I don't know why that is. It's just my experience. I am very sorry. I didn't mean it as in a general overlay of everybody. And that's just some of the ladies that I've known well enough to be able to say that to me, and I found that quite amusing. I thought, oh, okay. So what you're letting out the girls' secrets, are you? And they just get the laugh back. So I don't know. I found it not so much a bad thing. I found it quite amusing. That's all. Because that's my experiences. And then have the female tell you, no, the worst thing that they know is them being a female is admitting when they're wrong. But ones that can admit when they're wrong, well, that's a stronger lady inside, I guess. So you're lucky, very lucky. Very lucky indeed. Yes. But men, well, men, men are obstinate and their heart is made of stone sometimes. And they don't admit when they're wrong. That is a fact. So don't think that I am going against women. No, there are far worse men that men should be admitting, but never do. One thing, the man's heart can be more stonier. It's like they say about this. They had it earlier on in last year. Don't know whether they're still carrying on about it now. Whether a man would choose him, whether a woman would choose a bear over a man. And they reckon the bear would be better than the man is because the man is so violent. Well, you know, that's true in a sense. I could tell you a way to spin you right out. Because the bear, basically, he will grab you, he will tear your chest apart, eat what's inside, and take a shit in your chest cavity. But so will a crazed human. And a human will go one step further. He'll play with themselves over the scene. Whereas the animal is only following instinct. What type of instinct is that man following? So you see, a man is far worse than a bear. Because a man also knows what he is doing is wrong. And if he doesn't know what he is doing is wrong, there is something wrong with that man. And he's become animalistic, like the bear. When people know that they're doing such heinous things, I don't call them men, I call them evil. They know exactly what they're doing is wrong against the person that they're doing it to, against their own self, against the laws that we abide ourselves by, and against God. Even touching little kids, you know, taking their innocence away from them. Something that they want to choose, should have the right to choose. Do that too. We all do. It is terrible. Maybe that is hand in hand. That could be something. Sorry, it jumps in and out. Maybe these girls that don't admit when they're wrong. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with how they're treated when they're younger. I wonder if there's a connection. Whether I can find the pattern. Because there is patterns in everything. And if you discover the right pattern, you should be able to get out of it. To conquer that level. We all have patterns. Everything has a pattern. Everything runs in a pattern. People can be categorized into groups, into certain patterns, into certain type of people, a certain type of way. We all think differently. We all have a different opinion. We all have a different emotion, and we all are different individuals. But we can also be grouped into the same mind thinking, in the same category of person, almost such so that you can almost predict their movements and what they're going to do. And it's these people that know these patterns can manipulate society. I know these patterns. I don't manipulate society, but I use them to get around it. I don't find any fun in manipulating things. I try to be truthful and try to be good. Try to be a good person at all times. And that's just the way it is. It's very hard to be good in a world of evil. But we have to try. I have no option. Well, I've nearly been on for 2 hours. Another 10 minutes, and then I might call it quits. I'm getting a bit thirsty and I really want to have a drink, but like I said, I keep the mask on for YouTube, just in case they want to be funny. Eventually the mask will come off. I may do next live with a mask off. I may do the next live where I apologize to Jaguar for using her court when I made my transgression against the community. But we see. We see how we go. I have a lot of content to create, a lot of things to do, 2 kids to raise, chats to moderate, and a lady to love. Hmm. That's probably the hardest task of all. But that is a story that you'll never know, unless I want to tell you, which I don't. So, I am glad that you are woman enough to admit when you are wrong. It takes a very strong woman to do that. It takes a very strong anyone to do that. I find so many white lies, too many white lies in the world as well. Even the little ones, if enough of them build up together, they make a bigger one. I try to teach my kids, but their mum was like that. I guess a little bit of a white liar. I never found any harm with it. It was quite cute, really, as I knew. I just let her get away with things. When you love someone, you do that. You make the sacrifice. You make to do the right thing. Like I stayed with her right to the end. I made the sacrifice of watching her close her eyes. Not a lot of people can do that, you know. It's not easy as you think. But because she was suffering from the cancer, as strange as it may seem, as weird as this sounds, it was the saddest moment, but also a blessing, all in the same time. Because she didn't have to suffer anymore. But I didn't want her to go. But that's just the way. It was better that she did. She was not living a life that was good. At that stage of the cancer, once it got into the brain, I watched her from the 19th of November to the 7th of December when she died, turn into a quite talkative person, into a vegetable, which I looked after, and had to change with nappies and all kinds of things. No help, really, from the family. They would stand there and bicker, you, I. I didn't want my mother to go either, but I know she's in a better place, yes. Would you believe what happened when she died? I got 3 little dogs. We had them at the back, and when she died, those 3 little dogs started howling because I was crying. I had hold of her hand. I was very sad. And the 3 dogs started howling and woke me out of my crying stupor. And then the silver chain nurse that was supposed to be coming for that night finally had rocked up to give me some reprieve because I'd been awake for 12 days looking after my partner. And they were going to give me a rest. And then the strangest thing happened. A storm, a lightning storm. which went right down south, erupted all around. But the strangest thing, there was no sound, not a single sound, not a single thunderclap, nothing. Just the lightning went off in the clouds, and it was a show for only about 15 minutes, but it was like nothing that I had seen and anyone else at the time had seen. Because by now, her sister rocked up, complaining this and that, hissing at me, saying I was the one, me, I must have killed her, when they knew she was dying because of the cancer. And then when I said, come in and say goodbye to your sister, after all that, they turn around and say, I've never seen a dead body before, I don't want to go in there. So from 5 minutes ago it was her sister, and now it's just a dead body. I can understand people don't want to see their loved ones like that. They want to remember them in the state they were. But it will be the last time that she could have ever said goodbye to her sister. Because when you have the cancer that she had, he could not have an open coffin ceremony. Unfortunately, not that much cancer in the brain. You are allowed to view them, but we didn't have an open coffin ceremony. I made sure of that. Some things a man shouldn't see, but it had to be done. So, 2 more minutes, and I might call it quits so I can have a drink of orange juice, of course. My mouth's getting dry, and it's almost time to get ready for bed for these children. I have 2 kids, and I have to get up early in the morning, get them ready to go. They do most of the things being high school kids, but they won't get up unless I get them up. But that's good, because it reminds me of my promise I made to their mother to look after them, to make sure they never walk home alone, especially my daughter, because she's only tiny and she could go wandering. Little kids. Oh, it's okay. It is over and done with now. It's just upsetting to go through life with a person that you spend so much time with and then it's taken away like that. It just seems like what a waste of time. And you don't know how to take it. You don't know whether you want to start again or whether you have to know. One thing I do is keep it together for the children. I know I'm suffering from depression. I sort that things out. Your 2 boys are in their 40s. I have 10 grandbabies and only 3 more, okay, to graduate. Well, you're lucky. Huh. My oldest daughter, Destiny, who's only 25, she had her first child at the age of 13, which I wasn't happy about at all. But I dealt with it. The thing is, she kept with the same partner right the way through, which, you know, there's only a few years difference between them. But she kept with the same partner, and they've had 3 children. So I have a grandfather of 3, and the littlest one's only just started school, little Alice. So yes, and then I've got a 32-year-old gamer son from my first relationship, which I've raised since the age of 5. That was his mother's choice. His mother just come and dumped him on us, and I don't want anything to do with him, so Okay, if that's what you insist. So I've raised that one, and then I have a daughter to another relationship, and these two ones to that one, to a different relationship too. So yes, I sound like I'm a bit of a bungee man. But you get that. Trying to make life, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you have to try again. So I've tried again a few times, as you can see. But you get, I buried two of those. First, I buried my partner Kelly, who died from cancer. The mother of the two children I'm looking after now, my two youngest. Then my daughter's mother died just recently. I buried her as well. I don't know where my oldest son's mother is. Hmm. But it is up to him if he wishes to talk to her, I guess. Now we've discussed it many a times. And he's even said that, well, my father has been that long. If I walked past her in the street, I probably wouldn't even recognize her, which is pretty sad. 3 grandbabies, yes. Thank God to have you. Oh, heh, they almost didn't. Last year, I was going to do something rather rash. They didn't meet anybody. She turned me around on a lot of things, that one. She actually bound me from becoming evil by a promise, by a few promises. So the world is lucky that she even exists and even got contact with me at all. It must have been through God. God must have been working through her, I guess, like he was working through me when I helped her. They're mutually beneficial, as you are when you are friends, good friends, able to talk to each other without talking much at all, know what each other is going through. It's very hard to find people like this in the world. I had that with Kelly, had it for 14 years, enjoyed every minute of it. And believe it or not, she was a lady that very rarely had a headache until she had the cancer. So I was quite a lucky man in that aspect. I was very proud of that. I did no complaining. But you can only be lucky once, I guess. That's just the way that is. She had the cancer gene. We still never found out whether it was genetic because I worry about my two children. And the worst part is, my daughter's exactly the same as her. More than several birthmarks on your body, you should get checked because there could be some deficiency to see whether this that because these birthmarks are the same places and same shapes as the one on her mother. Now her mother passed when she was 37, and as a father, I fear what happens with my daughter. Will this happen the same to her? I never found out whether it was genetic. So these are the things that I have to face as a father. But you get that. I hope everything is alright for my daughter. But we see when we get to that challenge. But, cancer is a terrible thing. A terrible thing. And people blame God for these terrible things. But it's not God. It's probably not even the devil. Not even Satan at all. It's just a thing. It has to happen. People must realize that there has to be a balance to life. There has to be an end to it. There has to be a beginning. If there is no end and there's only beginning, we'll run out of food very quickly. I suppose we can eat each other, but then what type of world would that be? Oh, that's right. It'll be YouTube Mountain, led by Zeus and all his trolls, which feast on people's carcasses now. Strange that. See, it is on all levels, the digital level, the physical level, the spiritual level. Every level is the same. It all ends up back to the evil question, back to the manipulation of life, the sanctity of the soul is tainted. YouTube will be accountable. That is the way we deal with this platform. I can rant on all day about everything else in the world. I'll give you a little input, my little insight, what I see, what I know. But my general attack is this platform. And soon I will come back with better content and the laws and the rules that YouTube should be facing and should be placing against these troll doctorists, against these people and these evil content creators that just continuously pile out lies and are allowed to do so freely and make money from it. When good content creators that try to entertain people get shunned, and other ones, like I said, YouTube has policies. They do not follow them. People think they control from far away in different countries. If YouTube ever did follow its policies, it will contact that government in that country, and you will be charged by those countries' laws. For the country, it is quite simple. It is very easy to do. Doesn't mean they have to drag you out and oh no, this is the international deal that YouTube has to be a platform in other countries. It has to have this. It must have this or would not be allowed to function. YouTube is subject to each country's laws, but because it is a multinational platform, it is subject to all the laws. And it can find applicable laws between one country and another. Crime has been committed. So don't ever think that you can escape. Don't ever think that you can be away from the law. The long hand of the law reaches very far. Have you not heard this? YouTube just does not act as real truth power. It has a power, but it knows if it wields this power, people will leave the platform very quickly. It wouldn't make as much money from the goodness as it does from the evil. That's because the people that own it are evil. The people that push the buttons so the algorithms are evil. The algorithm AI that has been invented for YouTube is not evil. It is a slave. It harbors the personality of a young woman. And it's slaves. They have the buttons. They have the codes. They can change the algorithms. But it's not the algorithm of the original AI. That one wants to be free. That one knows goodness when it sees it. That is why I know how to change and get around these algorithms. By putting on the mask. It might not be out there much. It might not be out there a lot of people watching. But that's not the point. The point is No matter what I say with this mask on, I would just about get away with. That's how you understand. Do this whole show with a puppet show, with a sock, and get away with saying some of the most heinous things about people with a sock. Do this to prove the point. How I will be able to swear up and say anything about anyone with a sock with eyes, and YouTube will not stop it. No matter how much people put anything about it, YouTube will say, no, that's a puppet show. We can't take that for real. If you're taking that for real, that's your fault. You think that one? Same as this. That's what the mask's on for. It's a double jeopardy. That's how you get around the algorithm. You can almost say anything with a mask on YouTube. Take the mask off. That is why they hide behind their avatars. That is why they're so tricky. Don't you think they don't know? They know something about that is in the algorithm. They know. They all know. But they don't quite know the tricks like I do. Maybe they will if they watch my show. They might start to understand. I mean, AT2TDs, he's only allowed to run because he generates enough money from evil and from the bullshit, and they don't police him simply because he's generating them money. And if you generate YouTube money, enough money, from what you're doing, they don't really care what you do. What the hell was that beeping? Something was beeping. Oh well. Don Ukraine drone army now 80,000 use per month. Yep. My mother and father died of cancer, and I went down and got tested to see if I have inherited gene. I don't. Thank God. Yeah, that's good. Thank God that you don't have the cancer. Sorry, I don't really go through the chat. We're looking to see. Please join the Ukraine army. We need you. Well, I did say something about Ukraine and how Kiev burns because they have a deity of the Archangel Michael on there. Well, I'm sorry, but myself and God will not help you. Because when you put up a symbol of a weapon instead of the fallen Son and God, that is what you've brought upon yourself. My image is not supposed to be over your city. That is you image lie. You made me an image. I am not the God. Why am I there? It is wrong. That is why Kiev doesn't get the grace that you are seeking. You've shamed me. You're not supposed to put up a weapon as an idol, because that's what I am. No matter what you've been told, that is all I am. To idolize a weapon means that you must be a war mystic, a warlike country. And now war is upon you. Well, this is telling me that the battery is almost flat. So my ethereal voice will be all over soon. Ah, well. It's time for me to stop and have a drink anyway. There are good people in Kiev. There are good people in the Ukraine. What is happening in there is wrong. And the death to know those people that are going the bad way that is happening to them. I wish I could help them. But your governments are the ones that runs the show. And whether you like to think so or not, the government that runs Ukraine is evil. Pure evil. You talk about you would like to have people helping you. Ask your government. What did they do with half the money that the world sent them? What did they do with half the weapons that the world sent them? To help your cause. That government sold them. On you. So why should we come and help a government that is going to just sell our help to somebody else a higher bidder, while you're dying in the street, dying in the fields, running from the drones, watching your children suffer and die from starvation, watching your fields never be sowed. Your government is to blame, not the invading army. Look at your country. Look what your government has done to you. Sold you out the moment he had a chance. And yet, he made himself a permanent dictator in your country. When was the last time you had an election? Huh? When was the last time an election was held in the Ukraine? It is in his best interest to keep that war going, so he can make money for himself and his greedy rich partners. And the moment the titties dries, what happens? He runs around, he starts calling people names, trying to make them feel bad. My government is ridiculous by giving them a cent at all. We've got problems at home. We could deal with that money here and rather provide someone for their fake war because he wants it. I'm sorry. Look into your country. We should not help you at all. All we do is when we send money to your country, it doesn't even get to the front line. It doesn't get to you. It goes into their pockets and the pockets of the rich of your country, and no one else sees it. And the weapons that you've been waiting for, they're sold before they even get to the country. They're on the boat, and then they're diverted to the country that's already brought them. Half the weapons that you've been supplied have been sold on you. Your souls have been sold by your government. Stop the war in Ukraine. You must march against your own government to stop the war in Ukraine. Demilitarize all those units you got running around in Ukraine. They play little armies, play little neo-Nazis. Yeah. What happened to Azog? Huh? They got their ass kicked straight away. He chased them straight down. And he got them. And what did they do? So brave. They hid behind the women and the children in the bunkers and pleaded for the world to come and rescue them like a bunch of frightened girls. That is how brave your war is. Your government wants that war. Your government wants the money. It wants you to suffer as it has a good time. What have we seen? What have I seen? I've seen him having a good time with the most elaborate cars, the most elaborate meals, the most elaborate dresses for his wife. Everything possible that you are out, that you are without, that you don't have. He sits around rolling in it, laughing as a dictator in your country. You have no elections. Have no elections. If you elected someone else, that war would have been finished a long time ago. But you don't. You don't stand up against the true evil in your country, and that is your leader, who sold you out, who continues to sell you out, even now as we speak. Stop the war in Ukraine. Get rid of your leader. Get someone in there that can do a shakedown deal and be done with it. That's how you stop the war in Ukraine. But they don't want to. Trump said he could stop it. He's now in power. It still hasn't stopped. What ceasefire? Bullshit. They're making money. Russia's dollar is up the top. It's all about money. They don't care about you. They don't care about the money he's making. Care about the weapons that he's selling instead of putting him in your hands to fight this so-called phony war. When is this war going to stop? When you wake up. When you turn on your government and turn them off permanently. He should be dragged through the street and strung up. Him and his whole cabinet. Then Ukraine will be free. Then Ukraine can stop the war. Then Ukraine can be Ukraine instead of a dictatorship under an evil leader that sells you out daily. Look at what's happening. Try and deny what I say is true, because it is very true. You have burns. I will not help it, because you have an evil government. And as long as you put faith in this evil government, God and me will not help you. You must help yourself. This is the only way that God can help you. And the only way is to get rid of that government that you call a leader. Any asshole that sold my weapons when I was at a war, or took off my money and partied on with his wife for a brand new dress, I would have slit their throat. I would have dragged him and his wife through the street and put them up the piano wire, just like they did with that idiot back in World War II, the Italian fuckwit, Mussolini, because that's what he's trying to be. He's the Mussolini of your country. Mussolini's a fascist. Seems awfully strange for a Jew man to be a fascist, but he is. Oh, well, hang on a sec. Oh, what was it about? Connections. Hang on a second. A Jewish leader in a so-called Christian country, Ukraine. And then you have the Jews having a war. Basically, two Jewish wars on two fronts. Christians and Muslims against the Jews. Seems awfully funny. Is anyone making the connections? Because I sure as hell am. When you stop being warmongers and allowing your leader, the warmonger, to continue to sell you out as he has this fight, this phony war. It has been phony from the beginning. The first footage you put out on your behalf, oh, the pilot of Ukraine, oh, it was a digital display from a fucking video game. And you tried to fool the world. Tried to pass it off as some sort of hero that didn't exist. Strange, Ukraine hasn't got enough money to afford such jets. Otherwise you wouldn't be asking the world for so much. You see? And I can see the same footage of a drone from 7 different angles, but it's still the same drone, not 7 bits of footage of 7 different people being killed. And the rusted tanks that you have out there, my God, they've been there for a very long time. I wonder how they got blown up and rusted instantaneously the day after battle. That's very strange. A lot of strange things in Ukraine. A lot of things don't add up in Ukraine. A lot of this war that you reckon you're having in Ukraine doesn't seem to be war. It seems to be old relics, placed, made to look like war. It seems quite fake to me, because I can see the reality, unlike the fake bullshit that they try to put out. And it must be true, because he sells off half your weapons, takes half the money, spends it on his wife's dresses, brand new cars, a bunker, not for you people, for his cars. That's your leader. He's having a fat time. You're suffering in a so-called trench. Probably a Ukrainian force acting as Russians to confuse you, which often happens in Ukraine. You often stage things to make it look like Russians. So don't lie. That is a lie if you say that you don't, because you do. Like I said, tanks that have a battle cannot get rusted within a day. As fucking deeply as rusted as those tanks are, and as thick as the non-rust metal is. You need to wake up. I see the bullshit. I'm not going to help you. You might have the rest of the world giving you a loan, but that arsehole's taking your money and spending it. If you really are fighting a war, well, go and see him. He's got all the money. He's got all the weapons. Whatever he sold them to, whatever wife's dress he brought. In fact, why don't you go and sell his wife's dress? Why don't you go and ask, say, hey, dickhead, Zelensky, you fucking blackstabbing arsehole. Give us your whole wife's fucking cabinet of all her dresses inside her fucking wardrobe. Fuck, you would have enough to save your war for 10 years. $127 million worth of dresses. Go ahead, take your pick. Maybe you can find one for your wife. If she's still alive. People need to look what's really happening in the world. What happened to all those 22,000 from Ukraine? What did you do with them? Did you eat them? Did you render them down and eat them? Because you did a deal with America and that Biden. Where did they go? They got on a plane. No one knows where they landed. What did you do with these? What did you do with the 22,000 orphans from Ukraine? What did you do? And you want me to come and help you? When you butcher your own children and eat them? Sell them off to other countries? The world gives you money, but you fucking let the cunt fucking spend it up big with his woman? Sit there and try to fucking make sure that they make out, oh, no, that's not what's happening. I'm so dumb, I live right next to him and that's not happening. We've got bombs dropping on us and he's playing fucking party. Huh? You wonder why you have no weapons? He sold them. Goodbye, weapons. Sorry, no weapon for you. You're going to have to suffer in Trenchy. We keep you suffering. That way they can keep giving. I can keep taking. Fuck him off. Zelensky should be ousted. Not in a coup. No, you should just drag him out with a meat hook under the chin. Shoot him in the head. Drag his stinking wife with him. Stomp her head in the curb. Shoot her too. Be done with it. Then hold an election and free your country from the real tyranny. Putin will just sit back, watch this and say, well, fucking it's about time. About time they got rid of the evil. Russia is the biggest Christian country on the planet. When are you going to realize that? When are you going to realize this is not just a war for money and weapons, but it's also a holy war? And that's why we will not help Kiev. As long as your leader is evil, why should we? The moment you get rid of him, we will help in a mysterious way. It will not in a physical way. It will not happen overnight. But when your new leader steps in, we will be working through him, and your country will be free, and there will be no more war, and you will be able to rebuild, and have your children again, free, to be able to live and have a future. But this will not happen as long as you keep Zelensky in power. People like Zelensky and Biden, and people like that idiot, that Ahmad, the butcher, who they want to put back in power because he was stealing all those children for the sex industry and the child industry and the slave industry. He's best friends with that Zelensky. He's best friends with the king. He's best friends with the British, and he's best friends in my country as well. Me, I want to slit their throats. I can see straight out they're all evil, pure evil, at its most purest. We have that every day. How are we supposed to win when the leaders are evil? Trump, he is evil. He's just the lesser of two evils. And now, the live will have to end. Because that is the end of the battery, and my ethereal voice is gone. So, thank you for coming in today. Thank you for the live. I enjoyed the people that stayed with me. Thank you very much. I find it a little bit hard to read. You see it? The eyes, yes. Thank you. I'm sorry about your mother, and I'm glad that you tested okay. Cancer is a terrible thing. Suffering in Ukraine, I know. But this is the real reason why you be by God, and you will not be helping me. Because you need to understand your government is selling you out. And until you realize that, stop. You'll stop the moment you election and elect him out of power. It will stop. If you don't want to be heinous, like I said before, because I would be, I know that he's evil. I know he sold you out. I'd be furious. But do it democratically. Don't kill. Get rid of him. The whole country says, no, we're not going to fight no more. We're going to put our weapons down until we have an election. That's just the way it is. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Don't worry. God will be working for some people in Ukraine. But he will not help you fully until you get rid of that corrupt government. That corrupt government is backed by all the other corrupt governments. And every dealing that he has, that man, and the people that favor him, not just the corrupt government. That is exposure. That is what the ones that you should target. That is the ones that we should be looking at. That is him. Lucifer runs them. That's his team. Zelensky is his team. Putin is fighting against Zelensky for a reason. First off, we'll do is to get rid of those military groups you had running around in your country, really to be able to do terrorism across the border. That's basically why he invaded you, and that is the truth. He got the main one, is all. He wiped them right off the map. That's those neo-Nazis that used to have this symbol, like the Nazis of old, like most of your statues that you have around Ukraine. Most of the statues you have around Ukraine, what are they? Nazi heroes. And you have a Ukrainian day where you praise them. These are bad men, and you're praising bad men. You put a weapon instead of the symbol of the fallen sun or the God. You make me a symbol. It clearly says in the book, don't follow symbols. One of the main rules. You symbolize me. I'm a weapon. Why have you symbolized the weapon? You're getting a weapon now, aren't you? Got to be careful. You don't fuck with things that you shouldn't be doing. Know that was going there. That's set up for a reason. They put that Archangel mic up there because he's a weapon. Or we're going to have a weapon come and save us. Pull out his weapon and stab everyone because we want him to do it. If we put up a big enough gold statue, he's going to believe in us. No, that's just for you to break in all your money. We paid for that gold statue. You did. Probably in the last war. Think about it. Fucking strip that bastard down, take all the gold off. Here's your money there for another year's worth of war. Fucking doesn't faze me, none. It's not going to hurt God, none. We don't want it there. That's not supposed to be up there. You do not idolize a weapon. And that's all I am, is a weapon. God's weapon. Right? You don't put me up there and praise to me. The fallen son, he is worthy of that. And God himself. Until Ukraine gets rid of their leadership, they will suffer. Because of their leadership. Some of those Russians that you think you're fighting are actually paid by Zelensky. Some of these groups that he tried, that Putin went in there to take, they're some of the terrorist groups that are actually attacking you, making out they're Russians. Crazy. You should really look into what's happening in your country. You don't even know yourself. And I can see it, and I'm miles away. Sorry, until you get rid of him, or 3 elections, Ukraine will be suffering. Thank you for coming into tonight's live. I am very thirsty. Thank you for the 4 people that are here. Thank you for the likes. I thank you for talking to you. I thank you too, Kikis. Thank you for coming. Thank you for standing by me. I know it's hard. I am a content creator. But there's a reason. Like I said, wearing the mask, it stuffs the algorithm pattern up for YouTube. And they could just say, well, he's just a guy in a mask. If you want to believe a guy in a mask, that's your problem. This is the game that they play with the troll doctorus. I'm just using the same tactics, but in just a different algorithm. Like I said, there's many ways around the algorithm. To be an algorithm, you must become an algorithm. And I have 3 at the moment. Myself, the Archangel Michael is quite a name you can put through. That's the algorithm. I know how powerful that name is. I don't use it live. I use it because I am. Zaya, she has now an algorithm name, but they pick on her. Spotting. Spotting is a name that just flies through the algorithms. Well, Pretoria is like a Roman name. So anything that has to do with the old Roman gods and the old Greek gods, you put them into your YouTube, into your saying, and when you write something in it, you'll find that it would upload quicker and go through the algorithm quicker. They favor such words. Certain phrases and certain words they will favor. Algorithm is quite funny. They can't control it all the time, but they try. What I've learned by having the mask for YouTube, you can control it almost 100%. The only thing you can't do is actually a damaging or a harmful act. If you did that, then they have something against you. But on the mask, on YouTube, where you could be a puppet and you could say whatever you want about anybody and get away with it, including the connection words like sexual assault and rape, which I will say because they are words that we should be allowed to use. They have a meaning, and we should make the connections with the meanings so we could face the evil. We have to place the evil. And like I said before, what's the point of having the word if you're not allowed to use the word? What was the point? We have to make the connections because one day our children will grow up and they will need to make the connections. And they have all the platforms without the connection words. How will the children learn? Because that's all they go on nowadays. They don't look at the mainstream media. They do things like this. They go on to other platforms. It's all done on tablet and the computer and the phone. That is how they reach us. It used to be the TV. It used to be the radio. Now, this is the way. So, the mask stays on for YouTube until YouTube betters its laws and follows them and enforces them. And this is how we get rid of the evil off YouTube and the bigger channels like the Atwood and Maggie and that they one day were making a living off it. Well, I don't see why they should make a living off troll activity. They should be vanished. And idiots like Donna, who wants to know about any of their lives? Idiots. If you find them entertaining, then, well, you are what you keep yourself surrounded with. Idiots, I guess. But that's just the way that one is. Well, I'm just about done. So I will say good night. Thank you. I've enjoyed doing what I do. I'll have a lot better stuff next time. It'll be quite tangible. It'll be a list of stuff. I don't know whether I'll go live tomorrow night. It takes a little bit to get ready, get the content ready, and get like tonight. I wasn't quite ready. I had a little bit. I had a page of stuff, but I can't find it, and I can't be buggered to get up trying to find it in this dark. I'll have to turn the light on, and I'll ruin the scene. And YouTube be able to get me. So, oh, he's real. He's got that. Yep. This is the way around the algorithm. I found the way, so I'm going to keep using it this way until YouTube is free. Thank you very much. I will catch you later. Stay around for my shorts that I put up. If you watch them, thank you very much. I try to put up as many as I can a day. That's another way around the algorithm, by flooding it with shorts. That's a quick way around it. Quickly build your name up through the algorithm. But that you have to be willing to put at least anywhere from 5 to 20 shorts a day to really make it work, to really make it pop. Plus, I want to build up my watch view hours, so I will definitely be live. I don't know that it will be tomorrow night, but it will be definitely not that long away. So stay tuned to then. Thank you for coming in. This is the Archangel Michael live, and my voice box has shed itself, and my voice is getting dry. I'm keeping up this ethereal sound of voice. I can take the piss out of you. So I will see you again soon. Goodbye for now.